Hello, welcome to my travel vlog. We are on a road trip up England and Wales. On this episode, I'm taking you to Oswestry. This is the second part of my Wilfred Owen trail. The first part was in a video about Birkenhead. Don't forget to check that as well. So from Birkenhead, I drove to Oswestry. Oswestry is a town in Welsh-English border and actually belonged to England. Oswestry was where Wilfred Owen was born in 1893. Wilfred Edward Salter Owen was a soldier and also a leading poet of the First World War. Oswestry takes a great pride in him. There is a whole trail dedicated to the places of significance in his life. Unfortunately, I'm on a very tight schedule today, so I won't have time to do the whole trail. So I picked the one place that I really wanted to visit. That is the Kye Glass Park in Oswestry. Kye Glass Park at the heart of Oswestry has a war memorial area, and there is the only life-size bronze statue of Wilfred Owen. When I say that Wilfred Owen was a war poet, he was actually an anti-war poet. This is what made his poetry very special for me. He didn't glorify war. He wrote about the reality and the horrors of the trenches and gas warfare. The First World War marked the first mass use of chemical warfare. The chemicals used varied from tear gas to chlorine gas. Chlorine gas is a powerful irritant that affects eyes, nose, throat and the lungs. Eventually, the victim dies of asphyxiation. As demonstrated in Wilfred Owen's Dulce et decorum est poem, death by chlorine gas is a horrible, painful, prolonged way to die. Dulce et decorum est by Wilfred Owen. Bent double like all beggars under the sack's knock-kneed, coughing like hags, we cursed through the sludge, till on the haunting flares we turned our backs, and towards our distant rest began to trudge. Men marched asleep. Many had lost their boots, but limped on, bloodshot. All went lame, all blind, drunk with fatigue, deaf even to the hoots of gas shells dropping softly behind. Gas, gas, quick boys! An ecstasy of fumbling fitting the clumsy helmets just in time, but someone was yelling out and stumbling and floundering like a man in fire or lime. Dim through the misty panes and thick green light, as under the green sea, I saw him drowning. In all my dreams before my helpless sight, he plunges at me, guttering, choking, drowning. If, in some smothering dreams, you too could pace behind the wagon that we flung him in, and wash the white ice writhing in his hanging face, like a devil's sick of sin. If you could hear at every jolt the blood come gargling from his froth-corrupted lungs, obscene as cancer, bitter as cud of wile, incurable soreness in innocent tongues. My friend, you will not tell with such high zest to children ardent for some desperate glory, dulce et decorum est, pro patria mori. I first came across this poem when I was in school. My literature teacher in Brecon, Mrs. Watts, showed me this poem as part of our lesson. I didn't really understand this poem at that time, so she sat me down and she broke down this poem word by word and explained it to me, including the Latin phrase dulce et decorum est, pro patria mori, which in English means it's sweet and glorious to die for your country. When you read and reread this poem and break down each word and go through it carefully, you realize the horror of the war that's witnessed by Wilfred Owen and experienced by the soldiers surrounding him, including him, with chlorine gas particularly. And then you realize the war is anything but sweet and glorious. What I love about Wilfred Owen's work is that it brings the raw reality and horror of war into life. It doesn't glorify war and patriotism. It doesn't glorify fighting. It just barely puts the reality in front of you. Just like this poem. All of his other poems like Futility, Anthem for Doomed Youth, they all have this same theme. There is so much pain and nostalgia in his poems. They are so powerful and emotional. Sadly, most of his work were published and became very popular after his death. He was killed in action only 1 week before the end of the First World War. He was only 25 years of age. On the day when the armistice bells were ringing in Shrewsbury in celebration of the end of the war, his mother received a telegram informing her of his death. Wilfred Owen never came home. He was buried in Ors communal cemetery in northern France. So this statue in Caiglas Park in Oswestry, his birth town, is a lovely way to remember and celebrate his work and life. This is a statue of Wilfred Owen created in bronze, and he is in a dynamic position placing a book of poems on a broken tree. This tree has pages of the book stuck on it and on the ground. The pages carry words from Owen's own poems as well as letters written to and about him, handwritten by the local primary school children. Owen loved children, but he had none. This statue was created by the local sculptor Timothy Guy Turner. The Owen family considered Oswestry as their spiritual home. This is further reflected in the words inscribed on the left-hand side of the granite plinth, which were penned by Wilfred's nephew, Peter Owen. Wilfred Owen would know that he has come home.